Good day, Minecraftians. Purple Mentat here with episode 16 of Feed the Beast Pyramid Reborn. Last time we got the... oh, it's over here. We got ourselves set up with the Mob Masher and the upgrades for it. In between episodes... oh, I should get rid of these. I probably don't need them anymore. I made myself a few more goodies to go along with that. Specifically, we've got the fans going, which we've seen in the past, and then some upgrades for them with the feathers that our Monster Crusher has provided us. And I set up some dark glass so that we'd easily be able to see inside, as well as used, as well as set up teleporters, ender elevators, to take us from place to place in our base. Our machine layer, our portal layer, as well as a new squid crusher that I set up. And this guy's only job is to kill squids, get ink sacs, which is doing pretty good for us, because I noticed I used up all of my black dye. Wow, it's already generated 1400. I literally just built this thing. I used up my black dye making the dark glass, and I wanted a little bit more of it, because I think this stuff looks cool for a mob spawner. And I also wanted to make sure that I used some, let's see, I want at least 9, right? Yeah. I wanted to make sure I used some of the dark ineffable glass to make myself a portal, kind of a portal-y thing that I could walk through, but the enemy couldn't. Oh, I mistook that for, lapis. We need to set up a resonator from extra utilities for that. All right, well, we'll get on that another time. That's not going to happen right now. Whoops. We're just going to get the, dark glass in place on the other side of this, and then we're going to upgrade our monster spawn area. And the primary reason for doing this is we're going to want to be getting, in case you don't remember from last time, is we're going to want to be getting our hands on a bunch of heads. Yeah, heads. All right, one other thing I want to do. I made myself some wires from RF tools for this, just because they're a nice way of going up the side of something. Though you do need to use a wrench to turn them around the right way. I was hoping that... oh, there we go. I don't know how well they're going to handle the transition around a corner. Guess we'll find out. But yeah, with that you can tell if the redstone state, with a lever, you can adjust the redstone state of that. Really looking forward to getting this angel ring. I mean, I know that we've got the ability to move around pretty good, but it's coming soon, and it'll be nice when we do get it. Alright, and I believe that all I need to do with a lamp so that I can shut this spawner off when I want to, as we're definitely at that point. 5. Put one right in the center there. Do I want it like that? No, actually. I want it one down from that, don't I? Figured that would have changed the light level there. I don't know why that's still light level 0 with a opening made. That's okay. Let me see, let me get this wired up. Well, this is rather disappointing. Apparently the wire doesn't handle corners at all, or at least to handle corners it requires something that I don't know yet. That would require more research that I'm willing to do when I can just use a couple of pieces of redstone to bridge the gap. So there, now we have the ability to... actually, that's not quite enough to disable it. We need either more lights or we need them placed differently. Ugh. So this entire thing, the wires, all of it, complete waste of time. That's okay. Should have known better anyway. I'm gonna get this done, and then we're gonna move on to, you know, the fun part of remaking this mob crusher. Alright, so I didn't want to do more overuse of ridiculous wireless stuff for things that don't really need wireless stuff, but a quick perusal of RF tools redstone logic told me that the thing that I wanted to do wasn't going to be very easy using wired stuff, so I just set it up with a transmitter and 4 receivers to turn on and off the redstone signal to the lamps so that now I can turn off the spawner entirely. I'm gonna need more torches than that. Oh, and I already had some comparators. Oops. These are fairly easy to make. Let's show you the recipe real quick. At RF redstone. The transmitter uses total of 13 redstone and ender pearl, 2 torches, so I guess 14 redstone if you're counting those. And the machine base, which is made with stone and gold nuggets, and then the receiver uses comparators in place of the torches, otherwise exactly the same. To set them up, you put the transmitter down and then you right-click on the transmitter with the receivers. And I want to turn that thing around so that up is on, because I will feel better about that, because it's a light switch. But I'm not entirely certain how to accomplish that, so I'm just gonna move on and be sad that I couldn't fix it. You know, the usual. That's better. Alright, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right here. We are going to stick our fan, all of which I've left in this box over here because, you know, I wanted to have everything I needed nice and centralized for this episode so that I'd be able to grab it and not leave you guys waiting while I run around a bunch. That worked out. Sigh. All right, the crusher is going away for now, because we're going to be setting up a mob fan right here. Can I turn you around? No, that would be way too easy. Huh. Right here, we're going to be giving it 1 distance upgrade and 3 width modifiers. And if I give this a redstone signal, I can show you what that's going to do for us. Anywhere in here, that fan is going to push monsters right to the edge. Perfect, right? Almost. The next step... Ooh, I'll actually push them right to there. That's kind of cool. I can work with that. Well, for one, we're going to get rid of that cursed earth. I've got some vague plans that I think are going to work out pretty fun. Next, we're going to put another fan here with no upgrades, and another one here with no upgrades. And these should allow us to... God, I hate that word. Once they're both powered... Oh no, what have I done? Don't try to bust your way out of the dark glass. It's not going to work out for you. Excuse me, sheep. Apparently, Mentat needs to make a cut through your pen for this, because I did not properly prepare. Oh, hey, I picked up one of my redstone lamps. Need more of you, and that should be the. I only need the 3 fans. There we go. And then we're going to need the masher and such. Right? Yeah. All right. So let's. Eventually, we should probably tie these to the whole system so that they're only activated when the system's running. That way you can shut the whole thing off and come in here and do repairs and stuff. That'd be for the best. But these mob fans should make it so that all of the monsters, with all 3 of them active, get compressed into a tiny little area. No matter where they spawn, they'll end up right around here. And that should be enough with all of them getting pressed into the area that they'll end up bouncing each other on top of our masher. Now the mob masher, I believe, does need a redstone signal to run. Yes, it does. This is another one that we will have to come back and eventually set up properly, but not until we have flight. For now, we're just going to leave it go all the time. And probably set up some more dark glass so that we can watch the whole thing happen. Yeah. Have one facing of the whole thing be dark glass. That sounds cool to me. Do I have any more on hand? No. Of course not. Do I have any in here? No. Of course not. Alright, dark glass. Here we go. How many more do I need? 3. Of course. I need 3 of an item that crafts in even numbers. There you go. Now, you won't be able to access the mob masher by breaking the glass, but you can do so right through here so that you can put in your looting, beheading, and sharpness upgrades to the masher. In case you are like me and did not think things through and accidentally blocked off the masher from you being able to easily access it. Oops. Oh, hey, this guy's turned on and off by the lever already because of the way redstone works. Cool. Vaguely happy about that. Redstone will transmit through blocks if it can. All right. That should do the job. Oh, but it's only turned on when the lever is on. That doesn't help us. And now we should be able to watch creatures spawning and getting pushed onto the mob masher. Fortunately, the mob masher looks like it's going to have an Enderman teleporting issue. And also, it looks like I would be better to have a few more mob mashers. Now, how are we going to get everything out? That's where the absorption hopper comes in. Because the absorption hopper, and we'll stick it here. We'll go ahead and grab items right through, look, I've already got a creeper head, right through the wall. It's pretty great. All right, we're gonna put you back on because, yeah. And I'm gonna put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more of those mob mashers in there so that that 2x6 area where the monsters are getting pushed to ends up being where they die, because I don't think that I can just add distance upgrades to the other mob fans to fix this. But yeah, then we should start getting plenty of heads of various types, and we'll be able to pump those into the same ghetto sorting system that we've got going on now. We can set, you know, actually, I think that I can set this guy right on top of the chest. Oops. And have items set to go down. Yep, it's working out just fine. And then the things that can are being transported away. Excellent, huh? I'm pretty satisfied. I think we can safely add glowstone to this. And also, apparently I need to worry about increasing that whitelist. I need to replace that servo with something. Better servo. A better way to transport items. All right, let me finish this. By the way, I've noticed that I was having some clogging issues with my mob spawner. So we void upgraded and we set the drawers up to be void upgraded, and we replaced some of the storage in the void upgrade ones with diamond, especially the ender pearl one, because the better storage upgrade, the diamond one, there we go, is 8 times value. So rather than having 30 times, we end up with 40? No, 48 times, which lets us hold a lot more ender pearls because those only stack to 16. I think if you desire, you could store more by crafting them into a block of ender pearl. Here, let me grab a couple of stacks and make sure that I'm not talking out my butt here. So you might be, if you really want to maximize your ender pearl storage, you're going to want to use these blocks of ender pearl. Don't mind me. I have apparently managed to cause something to just vanish. Neat. Yep, and these stack above 16. So there you go. If you might want to set up a compacting drawer for your ender pearls if you really want to store like truly prestigious amounts of overkill ender pearl, if that's your thing. All right, I've reached good enough for now because I've got other things I want to get done. Unfortunately, I've got spiders that are clogging the place up because the fans do not blow the proper height. Oh, and there's the first Enderman. I want to see what you do. Oh, yep. He hits the block, but he tries to teleport. He didn't seem to get out, though. And then he ended up continuing to hit the block. So maybe it's actually working out. Anyway, I can probably help with the spider issue by putting some height upgrades in there. And I can also probably help with the spider issue by lighting the ceiling around the edges with iron spikes so that the spiders die anyway. So there, I'll be making those upgrades on my own time. But now I'm getting... Yeah, the Endermen seem to teleport around a bit, but they don't actually end up where they can do any damage, which is good. But now I'm getting zombie, creeper, and, importantly, skeleton heads. And the reason we're going to be wanting skeleton heads is because with skeleton heads, we can make ourselves a wither skeleton. We just need 8 skeleton heads and a chicken egg to get a spawn wither skeleton. Actually, do I have chicken eggs? I have 4. Well, there's a chicken that does exist. I could set him up to, you know, lay eggs for me. Maybe the vacuum hopper, absorption hopper, sorry. This isn't open blocks, it's not an vacuum hopper, it's an absorption hopper. It's a very important distinction, I'm sure. But maybe the absorption hopper will do the job for us and grab eggs that the chickens let, well, so much for that idea. So yeah, I could probably stand to get myself something to gather those eggs with. It's a work in progress. All right, and we've got our redstone flux and our EU and our crafting grid ready. So we're pretty much ready for the next base tour and hand-in day, aren't we? I'm struggling to think of what to do between now and then. I'm pretty happy with the way things are, so I guess that makes it time to get started on Botania. To get going with Botania, the very first thing that we are going to want is bone meal, dandelion yellow, and rose red to turn into floral fertilizer. It looks like I'm currently lacking in bone meal. Not that that's going to be an issue. It's fantastic. Once we have some floral fertilizer... Really? That was all the rose red and dandelion yellow I had? Oh, that's right. Forgot I was grinding up my flowers in the pole. No, that's really just all that I had. That's okay. Once you get the first bit of... we've got lots of dandelion yellow. Once you get your first bit of floral fertilizer, every time you use this, because you're going to need a nice grass area, on some grass, you will get multiple flowers, usually at least 4, which makes it renewable because any 4 floral powder we can then turn into another floral fertilizer, and we make floral powder by turning petals into the pestle and mortar. With the pestle and mortar, each flower guarantees you at least 2 petals. And if you want to speed things up even further, you can use some of that bone meal that you're creating. Here, let's create that mortar and pestle, huh? What are we missing? Nothing. Good. You can use some of that bone meal you're creating on the flowers to get yourself a tall flower, which you then need to use shears on. Because, you know this, and you've looked this up, and you're a competent and professional YouTuber. Really looking forward to being able to bring this with me. As you can see, I'm pretty much useless without having everything on hand. One of these days. But yeah, it's as simple as just going around and spreading more bone meal, and then shearing them down, and you end up with the tall flowers, and those turn into 4 petals each. So it's, you basically are guaranteed, if you spend the bone meal, which we have infinite of, to be able to infinitely reproduce these flowers. Now, the first ones that we're really looking for to get going are the white petals, because these are going to allow us to make the pure daisy, and that's pretty much our step into Botania. It just takes 4 white petals per pure daisy, and we need the petal apothecary to do it, which uses any flower or any petal or flower, as well as some cobblestone and cobblestone slabs. Super cheap, right? And we're just gonna make the one of these. And you know what? We're gonna bring some water over into our grassy botania area. Alright, so we need some cobblestone slabs first. And then we can make the apothecary. And I would like to use up the light gray petals for you. And cleanse my inventory slightly. We are going to be setting up a area, some more drawers over there for Botania specific stuff, because it's going to help us out, I think, to be able to have that. This is going to be kind of a bit segregated, its own deal sort of thing, and being able to keep a place that is specifically for all of our Botania goodies, I think that's going to help us out in the long run. We're going to put our petal apothecary there. I really should have grabbed the shovel, but you know me. When would I have ever thought to do that? And then we can have basically a petal area, which eventually I might come back and actually make a bit better. Not happening right now, though. And then we need seeds. Preferably wheat seeds, I believe. Luckily, we're producing a crap ton of wheat seeds. Oh, also, I hooked up my oak leaves to produce plant balls, just to make sure that I had maximum possible throughput. So, to work the petal apothecary, and yeah, I know I'm going over basics of a mod, most of you probably know, but bear with me here, not everybody does. You toss in your petals, literally by throwing them, and when you have, actually, that's really cool, that's new to me. Once you have the right recipe in there, it'll tell you what you need to do, toss in your seed, and we get a pure daisy. I'm going to go ahead and make 3 of those, because it's going to make my life slightly easier in the long run. Because the next step involves putting things in the world to make them transmute. And as it says, you can right-click with an empty hand to repeat the last recipe when you put some water in there. So you can speed things along a bit doing it that way. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to move those sheep some. Let me make some leads to make that easier on me. And we'll just fence the sheep over here. We can stick them on a post. You and you. And this is vanilla mechanics at work. And now we know that they won't get away from us, and we can tear down fences and have a good time. Sucks to be the sheep, but, you know, what you gonna do? Where did I leave my axe? The clay axe does, yeah, it does actually show up as an axe. Or did I lose the clay axe? That would be odd, but not impossible. Not sure where I could have lost it, though. But I don't have any inventories except right over here. Oh dear. Oh dear. Alright, well, I'm gonna go get these pure daisies set up, and we're going to get ready to do more Botania-ing, and I'll be back. Alright, the pure daisies are used to produce the basic resources that we're going to be using to do a lot of what we're doing in early game Botania, using oak wood and stone. Well, whatever wood you have available. You just place it down, you'll see that it starts getting these very pretty particle effects, and this is going to transmute the oak wood into living wood at a somewhat rapid pace, which you'll then be able to pick up with your axe. I made myself a diamantine crystal axe made with the diamantine crystals from Actually Additions, which are created by putting diamonds in the atomic reconstructor, because it was the most affluent possible suit of armor and axe I could think to make in the very short term. However, we can possibly replace that with something even better sometime soon. And I mean, having a suit of armor that's going to make us nearly invulnerable is going to be very helpful when we need to kill the Wither, which is coming up somewhat rapidly, actually. Wow, I actually remember this going slightly faster. Yeah, look at that Enderman. Seems like he's teleporting all over, but can't actually get out. There's no way for him to path his way out. Cool. There it goes. And that gets you your living wood. This stuff is extremely important because living wood is used to make your mana spreaders, and you need mana spreaders to be able to do any sort of significant botanical power. What does Botania call its power? Because it's mana? Probably it's a mana spreader. So yeah, you need the mana spreader to be able to collect mana from your generating flowers and put it into your mana pool. And then you need the living rock, which is what we're making now, to be able to get your mana pool going. Now, a way that you can speed this up if you really want to mass produce, you can set up an actually additions lens, the destruction lens. Oop. Actual lens. Is it detonation? It might be detonation. No, lens and miner. There you go. You set one of these up, and as actually addition tells you, it will, oh. No, that converts things into ores. That's totally not what I'm looking for. Though that is kind of neat. You can, with a ore generator, basically create all of your own... you can basically build an ore generator to do all of your own stuff. I thought that there was one from actually additions that would let you mine things up. Alright, never mind. Later on, you can get a Botania thing that'll allow you to mine things up from the mana spreader. So that's probably what I'm imagining actually additions had a alternative to. So you're going to need to mine it up by hand. If you don't want to have to keep replacing it by hand, though, you can dig out the dirt around the pure daisies and use a diamond builder's wand to be able to just quickly build it all up in one go. All right, now that we've got that, I don't have my crafting table on hand. So much running back and forth. We are fixing that after the next, oh, I do have my crafting table on hand. I'm just blind. Even worse. All right, so, mana pool. You can only make the diluted mana pool, or no, you can make a full-on mana pool to start with. Okay, that's cool. Used to be you had to start, actually, I don't know if that was a mod change, but used to be you had to start with one of these in a different pack that I played. You had to start with a poor quality mana pool before you could make a good quality mana pool. And we're gonna go ahead and set you down right here for the time being. And then the very next thing we need are some generating flowers. And let me take a look at the Endoflames and see if we can start with those or if we need to generate a bit of power first. These require, yeah, just the proper mystical petals. So, let's go, let me spend some time fertilizing some flowers and get my hands on the brown and red and gray mystical petals that we're going to need. Once you have the proper petals that you need to make the Endoflame, the creation process is exactly the same. You use some brown, some light gray, and some red, and some seeds. Get these out of the way. And you know what? We're going to grab our magenta for the time being as well, because we're going to need it. All right, so it gets 2 ground, a light gray, and a red to make an Endoflame. Bam. And then we give it some water. Helps if you aim. Try to right-click your water onto the petal of Apothecary. Then right-click it with an empty hand, and we can make another one. This is good for mass production of flowers early on, and we're going to need a fair few Endoflames to work with our goals here. And you don't even need to have the petals on your hotbar at this point. You just need to throw them in there the once, and you can easily mass produce your flowers. Now, What are we going to be doing with Endoflames? Well, we're going to be making ourselves one of those mana spreaders. One of the basic versions using one of our magenta petals. Set that down there. And we're going to get that into the world, but you'll notice that it's pointing up at the sky, and that's not going to do us any good at all. I believe it's a wand. Yes, to fix that, we're going to make ourselves a Wand of the Forest. And because we're purple mentat, we're going to get ourselves a yellow petal and a purple petal to do this with. And the Wand of the Forest is made with 2 petals of any color plus 3 living wood twigs. So let's go ahead and get our living wood twigs. We're going to need 3 of these. And our purple and yellow petal. And now we've got the Wand of the Forest. You can change the mode by shifting right click, and we're going to bind the spreader to the pool. Actually, there it is. You shift right click in function mode. There we go. If you want to aim the spreader manually, you shift right click in function mode and it aims based on where you've right clicked. If you want to, and while you're mousing over the spreader with your wand in hand, it will display particle effects. If you want to have it pointed at a specific thing, you shift right click the spreader and then the mana pool. And now you can see by mousing over the spreader while you have your wand in hand that it is facing the mana pool. Endoflames, I don't think you need to spread these out. I think that they work just fine in a tight little pack. And then you just need to feed them some sort of fuel, which this is one case where having a charcoal generator up and running would still up and running would be helpful. We're just going to go ahead and grab some blocks of charcoal. And they start burning. They ate up 5 of them, and now you can see that some mana is being generated and put into your mana pool, and the mana spreader is firing at its fastest possible rate. Now, these will automatically bind to a local mana spreader if a mana spreader is in the world, but if you want to change their binding, you can do that with your Wand of the Forest in bind mode. And all of this information, if you want to explore it yourself, is available in the Lexica Botania, which you can make in this pack with a sapling and a book. I don't know if that's the usual recipe. I've been playing so many expert packs for so long that I don't know what the default recipes are on anything anymore. So, that's probably a good thing and a bad thing. I should really do like a kitchen sink pack so that I can get re-familiar with it all, shouldn't I? But the Lexica Botania, I don't really like it. Crusty mustard. Book by Vazky, the official guide for all your Botania needs. And it's got everything in here once you get through the tutorial and such. All of your basics and mechanics and mana manipulation, your generating and functional flora, apparatusy, everything is in here. And if you want to be able to look at a specific thing that's already in the world, you can hold shift and right click it with the Botania, the Lexica Botania, and it's going to open up that entry for you. All right, folks, that's all the time that we have for today. We've got some basic mana generation going, and that's as far as we need to be at the moment, because next time we're going to be diving into handing stuff in and getting ready for some new cool stuff. New cool stuff. I am so articulate. It's amazing. Diving into some new mod mechanics as well as getting some new resources to work with, because we're going to be doing our base hand-ins next episode. Base tours next episode. And the episode after that is going to have us working with what we can get now that we have handed in the latest items, our EU, our RF, and our crafting grid. We're going to get some cool things, access to emeralds, all of that good stuff. And we're going to have to discuss what exactly the next goals are. Thanks very much for joining me. Hope you enjoyed today's episode. If so, leave me a thumbs up. Tell me what you liked. If not, leave me a thumbs down. Tell me what you didn't. Either way, you want to see more of this, please click subscribe, and I'll see you next time.